Okay, time for a new video, and whether you are somebody new to my channel or you are returning to my channel to watch this video, it's greatly appreciated. As always, I'm filming this video in one go, so if I stumble over my words moving forwards, apologies about that, and also if the quality of this video is fairly poor as well, if there's any lag, anything like that at all, sadly it cannot be helped, and hopefully it isn't much of an issue for you. This is yet another Eurovision related video here on my channel, and almost certainly the last video that I will be filming in 2023. And I am filming this on a bit of a whim. I guess I'm considering this video to be a 2023 wrap-up, in a way. I'm just going to be rambling on for a little while about this year in general, how it's been for this channel, how it's been for me personally, I guess, with regards to this channel, what might be happening moving forwards, and it's just an opportunity really to draw a line under 2023 and look ahead to 2024. I want to take this opportunity, as always, to say that there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. So, it's been a great year, really, in terms of Eurovision, because I was actually there, albeit not in the Liverpool arena for the grand final. That was the intention, but I was down the road from where the action was taking place, and I suppose, really, I have to go right back to the start of this year, which is when things really gained momentum in that particular area, because if you had told me in May 2022 that not only was the UK going to finish second behind Ukraine, but then we were going to host in 2023, and it was going to be in Liverpool of all places, and that there was the very real possibility of being able to attend it, I would have laughed. But back at the start of this year, I can't remember the exact timing of certain things, but when it was announced the UK would be hosting, which I think was actually towards the end of 2022, I remember getting in touch with a couple of friends of mine. I don't really have many in real life friends who enjoy Eurovision nearly as much as I do, but I got in touch with a few mates of mine and said, look, it would be absolutely fantastic to attend this thing next spring. I'm not going to be able to go by myself, mainly for confidence-related reasons. Would you be willing to tag along? And they all pretty much said yes. And then when it came down to Liverpool and Glasgow, really the only friend who remained in contention for this, shall we say, was Peter. And he's the guy that I co-run the Instagram page with as well, link in the description. And we met up a few times, we had coffee once, and we were really looking at this stuff in great detail. We were looking at train fares to Liverpool, flights to Glasgow, how long it would take in the car to get to both places. We were really planning this out to the nth degree. And what I can tell you, I think I might have said this in a video earlier in the year, is that if Glasgow had been chosen, we wouldn't have gone. It would have been too fiddly to get there. We would have had to get a flight up there. It would have been difficult because of Peter's job. Lots of little things would have resulted in us not being able to go, really. So we were very much behind Liverpool's bid in the end. It would have been easier for us if it had been Birmingham, because that's sort of the nearest big city to where we live. But anyway, I'm starting to ramble. We were behind Liverpool's bid, and we planned everything we possibly could plan. And then when it was announced that Liverpool was going to be the host city, we agreed, I think in advance of that decision actually, that we were going to go up in the car, because from where we live, we don't live in the same town, me and Peter, but we live relatively close to each other. It would have taken us hours and multiple trains up to Liverpool, and the expense would have been immense. So we left that, went up in the car, and it didn't really feel very real until we actually arrived in the city. At least for me, it didn't feel real. And I think now that so many months have passed since the actual competition itself, yeah, it just feels absolutely fantastic to say that I was there, I was in the city where it was happening. It was such a fantastic moment for Liverpool, it was such a fantastic moment for the UK. I do think the attitude towards Eurovision improved significantly in the United Kingdom with regards to Eurovision. For so many years it had been mocked and ridiculed and heavily trashed by the British press. And then all of a sudden, and it really did feel like it was all of a sudden, the attitude did change. And all it took was one good result, Sam Ryder doing the business in Turin. All it took was that good result. And people were all of a sudden seemingly very, very excited about the contest once again. Now, whether that momentum continues moving forwards remains to be seen. There was a lot of criticism aimed at Mae Muller. In May, there was a lot of criticism about her performance. She was slated by some people in the media, absolutely. And so I do think next year there's a lot of pressure on Ollie Alexander, because if he does not deliver, then I do think all of that hard work in trying to build the profile of Eurovision in the UK again after years in the wilderness, I think we will probably go right back to square one. And it will be a very quick thing as well. I really do think that's a possibility. All of that hard work, you know, could be for nothing. And I think as well, I'm the sort of person who's not getting too excited about this sort of renaissance regarding the UK and Eurovision. There is no renaissance. We've had one good result in many years. As far as I'm concerned, a renaissance, an uplift in form, if you will, is many good results consecutively. That, to me, is a complete turnaround in fortunes. So I think the effort is great, and I think the desire to do well is there, and I think the BBC's approach is definitely quite promising, but we need consistently good results, for me at least, to be able to say we're going through a renaissance. Anyway, getting back to the whole Liverpool thing, there is a vlog on my channel about it. I did manage to get quite a bit of footage from the day, although most of that footage is from me sitting in my friend's car, which wasn't fantastic, but there we are. And one of the big things, actually, that I spoke to Peter about in advance of that day was, how am I going to get footage of the show? How am I going to get footage from my time in Liverpool? Because I was worried about things like copyright and everything. And had we actually managed to get tickets for the live final, my intention was still absolutely to film a reaction to the results as they were coming in. How that would have panned out, I don't know. And I haven't even spoken about trying to get tickets. I made a video all about this on my channel, which you may well have seen. It was the day of the Swiss song being released. Peter was here with me. He was trying to get tickets for the actual grand final on the Saturday night on his computer. I was trying to get tickets for the family show earlier on in the day on that Saturday. And tickets sold out in, I think, about 35 minutes for the big one. And I was online. It was sort of lunchtime, a really strange time for tickets to go on sale, and it was the middle of the week, if I remember. And I just sat here, and I was online for about an hour and a half, and I managed to get through to the booking page where you put in your details and everything, but nothing was available. They'd sold out. So I was in a really crappy mood for the rest of the day. And then I remembered about the Eurovision Village. The first year the Eurovision Village was going to be a ticketed event for the grand final. They went on sale. I completely forgot about it, felt like an absolute prat. And then the next batch of tickets went on sale, and it was such a smooth process. I can't stress this enough. It was such an absolute breeze. I think it was the middle of the day again. It might have been about 11 AM or something. I was able to be here to try and get tickets. £15 for me, £15 for Peter. It was such a smooth process. It was unbelievable. And there was this whole thing about having to be a lottery player to get tickets or something like that. That didn't have any impact whatsoever on the actual day. And I started feeling a lot more excited about the competition again, because I was able to get these tickets so easily. And there were lots of reports about Eurovision on the news, and it was in the newspapers and everything, and there was a lot of buzz and excitement. So many people were talking about Finland, absolutely. I remember there being a news report on the BBC about the sort of red carpet event or something. They were showing Croatia in those flamboyant outfits, and Karia and everything. Anyway, what a ramble this video is. The day of the final itself, there I was holding my friend's phone, trying to get some footage. It was about a 3-hour journey up to Liverpool. We walked around for a while. I've spoken about this on the channel before, but I'm just doing it again now. We went in Waterstones, which is a big bookshop, and then we joined the queue for the Eurovision shop, which was horrendous because we were in that queue for at least 2 hours, and I'm the most impatient person you'll ever meet. And there was a woman in front of us in the queue, and she'd had enough after about half an hour. And then there was this moment where you could pose with a miniature Eurovision trophy. There's a photo of that on my Twitter page somewhere with Peter. And all I wanted was the official programme. Peter was going to buy a shirt. I already had a shirt that I won in a giveaway. So we were in and out of the shop in about 5 minutes, but we queued for about 2 hours for it. So moving forwards, no matter where it is in Europe, if there's going to be a Eurovision shop, there needs to be more than one. And I think there was more than one in Liverpool. I think the other one was down by the waterfront, but I think it closed early or something. More shops and just better management. The reason that we were going through this queue at such a languid pace is because inside you could pose with props, and they were only letting a certain amount of people in at any one time. So that was just dragging the whole thing out. There was no need to do that as far as I was concerned. Anyway, we then had a delayed lunch, and then we took a slow walk down to the waterfront. It was such a warm day. I was wearing my big black coat because I didn't expect it to be so warm. And then, yeah, Jedward were performing when we entered the Eurovision village, and I said it at the time and I'll say it now, Jedward were absolutely abysmal. They were absolutely atrocious. Didn't know the lyrics to half of the songs. They were trying to G up the crowd who were having none of it, and the sooner they went off stage the better. Me and Peter walked around, very expensive food and drink, in my opinion, and toilets at the back, which were not the most appealing. And then we needed to try and sit somewhere and stay there. There wasn't really much in the way of seating, which was a bit of a crappy thing, but there we are. So me and Peter were quite far back. And you'll have seen, obviously, the Eurovision village and how it was all set up and everything. There were lots of big screens and the big stage at the front. Claire Richards performed, the Venga Boys performed, other people came and went as well. And we were just right at the back. The sun was beating down on us. We had a drink, had a little bit of food, if I remember. And we were just sitting on this sort of slightly elevated stone platform, I guess. And I didn't realise until well after the competition that there was a BBC reporter meters away from us doing a report live from the Eurovision village on that Saturday. And I've watched the footage back. You can't see me, you can't see Peter either, but we're there somewhere. We're there somewhere. And I also realised well after the event too, there were people in the Eurovision village who I follow on YouTube, whose content I was watching all through the Eurovision season, and I probably walked past them and didn't even realise it. What a shame. Anyway, it was a fantastic atmosphere, the flags of all nations, definitely the UK and Spain. Saw a lot of Spanish flags, saw quite a lot of Israel flags, saw an Estonian flag, saw a couple of German fans. But I think a lot of people who were in the Eurovision village, and it was several thousand, I think a lot of them were just there to have a good time. They weren't necessarily there because they were rooting for one specific country. I think they were there because they were locals and they just wanted to soak up the atmosphere. And what a great atmosphere it was. The crowd loved Finland. Big cheers for Czechia, I remember that much. Australia got a big cheer. Spain. Italy seemingly got a big cheer as well. I can't quite remember. And then obviously the results came in. And I was holding Peter's phone, trying to string sentences together. And as soon as Sweden won, there really was a sense of deflation in the village. There really was. People were happy, but I think because she'd won the jury vote by such a crushing margin, it sort of made the public votes not pointless, but people knew what was coming. Anyway, we left very quickly because it was so late and we had a long journey back home. And we were walking back to the multi-storey car park, and that's where we encountered these German fans who were behind us, and they were saying, nobody likes us, we're hated, we can try anything we like, it doesn't work. So they were really unhappy with Germany's result, and I can understand why. And then we had the long journey home. I got back here at about 3:30 in the morning, went straight to sleep. And then, you know, the dust settled and I was able to look at the semi-final results and look at other bits and pieces to do with the event as well. Look through the programme book, which I hadn't managed to do really at all on the Saturday. And just reflect on what a special occasion it was to be there outside the arena. I think when the family show was going on as well. Just absolutely fantastic. And Liverpool totally embraced the show. Every shop you went into, they were playing Eurovision music. There was one shop that had a sort of big piece of cardboard in the window, and it was the owner's top 10 songs of all time or something on it. That was fantastic. Wonderful stuff. I'd like to go back to Liverpool. Peter said he'd like to go back as well, because it's a really beautiful place. It was very nice just walking along the waterfront, sort of seeing all of the padlocks and everything. Sort of love locks or whatever they're called, seeing all of them, and just seeing everybody with their faces painted and the flags and singing along. And we were definitely probably two of very few straight people in the Eurovision village, absolutely, because we saw guys in sparkly crop tops and feathered outfits, and we just thought, wow, we didn't dress up for the occasion. But yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. And then obviously there was controversy because of Sweden's win and how Finland absolutely smashed it in the public half of the results but still didn't win. And then obviously we've had this whole thing with Israel lately, so controversy is never far away when it comes to Eurovision, but you know, it is what it is. Very briefly going through the finalists of the Liverpool show again. I'm aware that this video is a long drawn out process, but bear with me. Germany deserved to finish higher than last, absolutely. United Kingdom, dodgy live performance, that was the killer blow. Serbia, disappointing in the end. Portugal, visually could have been a lot stronger. Albania did well with the public, not so much with the juries, no surprise with the result. Slovenia underperformed, by which I mean it was a good performance, but I expected them to finish a bit higher. Switzerland was nice, but forgotten about quickly. Poland, meme material worked well for her, but really this song doing so well with the public, I'm not sure about that. Moldova, fine. Spain, what the hell was that from the public? 5 measly points, that was disgraceful, but there we are. France, flopped. Big time, in my opinion. Austria flopped big time in the public half of the results. Armenia thought they'd do a bit better. That grew on me quite significantly. Croatia was what it was. They'll be back next year. Let 3, I'm sure. Cyprus, that wasn't particularly memorable at all, and yet it did quite well. Lithuania, that was nice, but again, not especially stand out. Czechia was fine, Australia was great, yet again the public completely dismissed it really. Estonia, fantastic, result of the year, what a surprise, the public barely gave it anything. Belgium, the ultimate dark horse of the year, it was a feel-good entry, no doubt about it. Ukraine, a little bit overrated maybe, but a decent performance. Norway, fantastic, I don't know why the juries didn't really like it. I think her performance on the Friday night wasn't quite up to scratch, that's probably what scuppered her chances. Italy, very good. Israel, slick. Finland, fantastic. Sweden, very strong, no doubt about it. 583 points to 526. It is what it is, and obviously we now move ahead to 2024. Now, with regards to this channel, I have a couple of stats here from mid-December. According to what I can see in front of me, I've gained about 131 new subscribers. Many thanks. 53,300 views. Many thanks. 100 uploads. It's more than that now. I mean, that's a big number, really. Next year it might be slightly less. I don't know. I did film a lot of videos this year that were on a whim. Maybe I won't do that quite as much next year. We wait and see. Over 2,300 likes, over 950 comments, over 70 shares. My most watched video was the video this spring about Finland. Why they know what they're doing and other countries could learn. Ain't that the truth? And moving forwards, you know, I've spoken about the future of this channel a little bit in the past, but hopefully the quality will improve at some point. I'd like to make more video essay type things. There are people on YouTube who already do that and they're pretty good at it. I'd like to maybe start editing my videos a little bit because I've never really done that. I don't know. I don't want to change things too much. I've been doing this for years now and I'm quite happy with the format, but definitely to move things forwards, but also keep this as very much a hobby. Certain things will need to be altered moving forwards, absolutely. I want to make more videos focusing on older contests because I see so few people anywhere on social media talk about Eurovision pre-2010 pretty much. So I definitely want to do that. Maybe not as many videos about Junior Eurovision because they never seem to do that well on my channel. I'm going to keep doing the What We Know So Far videos because they seem to do quite well. Other people do them as well. I certainly wasn't the first to do that, but plenty of other people make videos that are very similar. I'd like to make more videos about certain countries maybe. I'd like to make more throwback type videos. I'm just going to think about it moving forwards. I'm obviously going to be doing videos about national final songs. I'm going to be making videos about the internal selections. I'm going to be doing previews, predictions, all of that good stuff. That's going to stay on this channel moving forward. But if you have any suggestions at all for videos you'd like to see from me moving forwards, let me know and I can maybe film them as and when. As I'm filming this video you're watching now, it's the 30th of December. Tomorrow is going to be New Year's Eve, and indeed the annual ESC 250 poll. And for the record, my scores are as follows. 1 to Athena for Real, Turkey 2004. 2 for Iceland 2003, Birgitta Open Your Heart. 3 for Sweden 2022, Hold Me Closer, Cornelia Jacobs. 4 points to Italy 2017, Francesco Gabari Occidentali's Karma. 5 to Norway 2020, Attention Ulrika. That's another thing I'd like to mention. I'd like to make a video, not necessarily looking back on it, but I'd like to make a video about the 2020 contest as a whole, because obviously it never happened, but we have all of these songs, and it'll be interesting to see if years down the line those songs remain as popular as songs that did actually take to the Eurovision stage. 6 points, Estonia 2015, Elena and Stig Goodbye to Yesterday. 7 to Italy 2021, Maneskin Zitia Buoni. 8 to Finland this year, Cha 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 Karja. 10 to Sweden 2010, Anna Bergendahl, This Is My Life. And 12 to the Netherlands 2014, The Common Linnets Calm After the Storm, which is now my favourite Eurovision song to date. For years it was This Is My Life, but over the past 12 months or so it has been usurped by the Common Linnets, and I absolutely adore that song. 12 points right in there, absolutely fantastic. And we'll see where those songs finish in the poll tomorrow. Not that I really pay attention to it. I imagine Loreen will probably win, although I think Cha 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 is in with a great chance. Slow Mo won last year, I think. I think Chanel will be in the top 5 or 6 again tomorrow, but I don't think she's winning it back to back. We'll see. So yeah, it's been a great year for Eurovision as a whole. The UK did a great job hosting on behalf of Ukraine. Sweden will do a great job next year. We've got the stage design. The same amount of countries are going to be there, although Poland, I think their broadcaster's in money trouble. Romania might not be involved. So we might have short semi-finals again, but you know, what's going to happen will happen. Maybe Pietra will host again. That's what we're waiting for next. The presenters, we might not find that out for another 2 or 3 months. Loads of national finals moving forwards. Loads of national final songs are out. Just for the record, if you've not really kept an eye on the joint Instagram page, there will be more posts going up on there fairly soon. My favourite in Albania won, Besa with Zemrendor, so that's fantastic. Croatia, we know the singers but not the songs. They've not been released yet. What else have we got? I'm not going through everything. Czechia, my favourite one there. My favourite in Estonia is Serotonin by Annette Vaikmar. I think Nendes Narkutikumides Teteamekulmidagi is probably going to win ahead of Oli. That song is just doing so well in Estonia, so we'll see what happens. The French song is good. I've seen rumours about Germany, quite promising signs there. Greece definitely could do well next year. Italy, Come On Annalisa. Lithuania, I think some of those songs are out. Luxembourg songs are out soon. Malta, I think it's going to be Matt Black. My favourite, I don't really have one, maybe Ryan Hilly. Play it safe, Malta, play it safe. Netherlands, the jury's out on that one for me personally. Norway, I think we could have some very big names involved there. We know we're getting a former Eurovision representative in Denmark's selection, which we'll find out about in due course. Serbia, that lineup is looking really strong. I think it's Teodora. Is that her name? She's a major contender. Don't even need to hear the song. Slovenia, we know the singer for that. Sweden, we know the lineup for that. Spain, my favourite is Angie, but I think it's going to be St. Pedro or Almacore who wins that. Maybe Sofia. We wait and see. Ukraine, I was quite happy with the winner of the wildcard selection, but we need to hear all of the other finalists before we make any decisions on who the favourite is there. Am I forgetting somebody else? I probably am. But, you know. Oh, Moldova. Well, Aliona Moon was there, but she's withdrawn. So I think Natalia Barbu is probably going to do it. Possibly Valeria Pasha. I think it's probably going to be one of those two. I'd be surprised if it's anybody else. But there we are. This video's turned into an absolutely terrible ramble. But hopefully you've stuck with me. Long story short, this year was good. Next year will be even better, I hope. More videos. The blogging, I might try and kickstart that again. Link in the description. I totally dropped the ball on that one earlier this year. The motivation just wasn't there. Nobody was really reading the blog anyway. The joint Instagram page, absolutely. And then away from Eurovision, my big hopes for next year are to become more organised, become more financially stable, and also get more of my original writing out there in print. And all of that is available online pretty much as well. Most of it is available online for you to take a look at. My master's manuscript had links to Eurovision, and I've said previously that I would read some of those poems aloud in a video if people are interested in that. Let me know if you are, and if enough people are interested in it, then I will make those videos maybe at the start of next year. We'll see. Anyway, big ramble, time to shut up. Until next year, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and thank you very much for all of the support in 2023. Thank you so much. Long may it continue. See you again soon, and bye for now.